This episode of Tea with Jules is proudly brought to you by The Home. You can shop any of the items you see in this episode at thehome.com.au. Emma and Lachy, I'm so happy you're drinking the tea.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. I'm so excited, you don't understand. And congratulations on just getting married a month ago. Emma, what a vision. You looked absolutely beautiful. And Lachy with your tartan sash.
Yeah, which almost didn't happen.
But whose idea was it?
It was yours. We got to put it on, and Rick, Emma's dad, came to pick me up, and it wasn't working because it was me and my best mate by ourselves in the house trying to get this sash on. And Rick came because he's into medieval sword fighting.
Right.
He practices it properly, so he knew exactly how to pin it. It was tight. It actually was a real feature in the end.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Anthony wear a kilt?
Yes.
Oh. And he used to play the pipes in the army, in the pipes and drums band. And so when we announced that we were going to get married, he said, oh, well, I'm going to have to play the pipes and I'm going to have to pipe you in. So ever since we got engaged, he practiced every single day between every show. He was probably the most organised person at the wedding, and he piped me in, and it wasn't a short walk. We kind of dragged it out so that he could fit in quite a few tunes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And my favourite shot, of course, besides the shot of you two, was the four Wiggles.
Yeah.
It was lovely to have all of the Wiggly family there. I mean, essentially that's how we met. So
Yeah.
it was nice to have everybody there as a second family, really.
Did you have a theme in mind, or did you work around something?
I'm a fairly old-fashioned person, and my mum's maiden name was Royal. So we've always had a family joke that we're the royal family.
Of course.
And I wish I'd kind of got that name, so I might have to change it back. But I think ever since then, I've always loved crowns and jewellery. And even though I thought the dress was so me, I've spoken to a few people that had thought that the dress was really out there and that they didn't expect it to be that regal.
Right.
But I thought
You're
that
like,
was just
no,
me from the
I'm a
start.
royal.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
am a royal.
understand.
I just loved the dress from the get-go.
Oh, you looked absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Thumbs up from me, both of you.
Thank
Thank
you. Okay.
Now, we know and love you, of course, from the Wiggles. Emma, you're the yellow Wiggle, and Lachy, you're the purple Wiggle. We are huge fans at our house. A 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. You are in my home on a daily basis, multiple times a day. I could tell you everything about yourself from the Wiggles. So, for the benefit of those who don't know,
Yes.
let's talk about, because you both are very extremely talented musicians, and Emma, I know you're a dancer. So let me into the back end of it and how you kind of worked into becoming a Wiggle.
I started in the Dorothy the Dinosaur show,
Yes.
which is the little show that travelled around Australia at the time that the Wiggles toured internationally. I went to Whopper in Western Australia and did a music theatre course there for 3 years.
And that's quite a
over
hard
there.
school to get into. It's-
Yeah, first year out of school I auditioned. I didn't get in because I had never danced before. So I did a year dance course in Brisbane for a whole year and really worked on my dance, and then got in the next year, and then got into an agency in Melbourne after that, and then got a call from a friend who was on Wiggles at the time, saying they wanted a Captain Feathersword to audition for the Dorothy show. Then, so I was in Melbourne. I flew on the Tuesday to Sydney, and on that Friday of the same week I was in New Zealand doing the first Dorothy the Dinosaur show
way.
as Captain Feathersword. And then I did that for 4 years until I joined the Wiggle Big Show with Greg Murray and Jeff to tour around the world, which is when I met Emma properly, and that was their goodbye to the audiences all around the world.
For you, was that when you went to Whopper, what was sort of the goal of that? Was the children's kind of entertainment path, is that the path you were heading down?
Well, no, back then it was more definitely mainstream music theatre, which I loved pretty much from about year 7 onwards, I went to shows with mum and dad, and so that was, and then getting into WAPA was a huge achievement because I thought, this was the best place in Australia to go for music theatre. Living in Melbourne, that's when it sort of kind of changed. It's such a hard industry to audition in, and I kind of just started writing bits of music in my time off, and it kind of just almost led to that. It just seems natural that now to look back and go, it actually worked better.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to write music for children.
And your voice is beautiful.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I want to hear it in a different format. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen, we've just done a few little segments called Lachy Live, where I just sit at the piano. There's a few episodes on YouTube, and they're actually really cool because I just play a little song that I like, a pop song or...
Yeah.
But some people have written up requests.
Yeah,
like people will
we'll have
request
to do a new
their
series
favourite
of
song.
Lachy Live, just me and a piano. We'll do
I'm
more.
going to look that up.
We'll do more.
Yeah. Guys, don't look that up right now. Just finish watching this episode and then you can look that up on YouTube
That
later.
wasn't
No, I'm excited to hear that. I love your vibrato.
Vibrato is something I've had to explain to Emma. Because she wasn't a singer, but she actually has the perfect voice, I think, for children's music.
Vibrato is a hard thing.
I don't have it.
Yeah, when you don't
I'm
have
still looking for it.
For those who don't know what vibrato, can you tell us the technical?
It's just when you hold a note and then naturally your voice will just kick into a bit of a...
It's like covers a couple of notes.
Yeah, it goes over.
Yeah, but it's somehow still in tune.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some people have really fast and some people have really slow.
Yes.
I would say yours is perfection.
It is.
Thank you.
Now, Emma, tell me your story.
I joined just after Lachy had started on the Dorothy show, and there was an audition for a fairy in that show, just for a DVD. And I think it was about 3 or 4 days later, I was there filming.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Lachy. So Lachy was Captain Feathersword and I was one of the fairies. And we filmed this whole DVD to put out. And then I think the week after, they were going on tour. So I actually got invited to start touring straight away.
Oh, wow.
And on the tour, travelling around Australia, we were filming, like home videos. I kind of let the guys in know that I'd been to film school. And so we'd put together a little video, and then Anthony had seen it, but I hadn't met the Wiggles then, so I'd been touring for a little bit. And somehow he must have seen it. And then one day we passed in the corridor at one of the Wiggles' big concerts in Brisbane, and I was just there doing a promotional tea party with Dorothy the dinosaur. And he just passed me in the corridor and said, "Did you make that video?" I said, "Oh yeah," and I just tried to be really quiet because I didn't want to interrupt. And he said, "It's just brilliant." And then I think it was a few months after that following year, I left that tour, and Anthony asked me to join the Wiggles tour to be a wiggly dancer, which was just the highlight of my life.
Aww.
And he wanted me to film this whole year of Wiggles backstage to put up online. That's how that kind of started, and I toured with the Wiggles for a whole year, and then Lachy joined. About 4 months in to when Lachy had joined the big show, we were performing in Sydney in Enmore, and Anthony pulled me aside. He said he wanted to talk to me, and we kind of, I don't know, I think we felt that, like Jeff wasn't well. He'd had a pacemaker put in, and Murray's back, and he wanted to spend more time with his children at home, and the same with Greg too. And I kind of felt like he was going to tell me that it was all over. And he took me outside at the theatre and then said, "Look, we're going to retire at the end of the year." And then I said, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Did you know?" I was like, "No, I think I just energetically felt that something was going to happen." And he said, "Well, we're going to start a new lineup." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then I tried to think of all the boys that were on the tour. And I was like, "Oh, well, Simon? Like, is he going to be a Wiggle?" And he's like, yeah. And I was so excited. And then I was like, "Who else?" And obviously Lachy was there, but I just didn't think anything. And he said Lachy, and I was like, I got so excited for Lachy. And then he said, I needed to tell you about Lachy because I want you to come with me to tell him. And I was like, "Oh no, it's not my news, you tell him." But there was still one spot missing, and I hadn't even worked it out. And I was like, "Well, we don't have any other boys. Who else? Are you going to audition someone?" And he's like, "No, we want to offer it to you. We want you to be, a girl Wiggle." And I was like, very funny. And I thought it was a joke, mainly because they're always playing jokes.
Right.
he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, we really want you to be the girl Wiggle. And I was like, and I couldn't control myself. I was so excited. And then we went to tell Lachy, because I hadn't seen Lachy. And then I was there when he told you.
Aw.
Yeah.
What did you feel?
It was kind of just all surreal.
Yeah.
Because we were just having, as Em said, the time of our life being on tour with the 4 original guys.
Yeah.
And then to find this out kind of halfway through a year when we're just having so much fun, it was just, the whole thing was bizarre.
And I mean, then when we started as Wiggles, it was that whole notion of becoming a band together and working on that and that whole rising effect. But when you're being told that you're stepping into the shoes of somebody else, at that point was really nerve-wracking, I think, for the 3 of us. Well, I think for everybody, because nobody really knew how it was going to go.
Yeah, I can imagine because they are world renowned.
Yeah.
They're like one of the most successful bands to ever come off our shores. Everybody under the age of 4 knows who they are.
Yeah. And I think especially like being the first girl, there was just a lot of focus.
I think putting a girl in is genius. I remember the announcement and I was like, yes, a girl, that's genius. And girls need somebody like you to look up to.
From our age group particularly, they watch us, and we've had Wiggles have generally been very preschool age, and with the Emma show it's now even younger. But then all of a sudden we'll have girls that are 7, 8 coming back because they want to dance along, and that's great. And it's not really for any age, but if we have those older ones that still want to do some kind of dancing, it's great.
And were you guys a couple when you found out that you were going to become Wiggles?
No.
You were just good
We're
friends?
Just
great
really
friends,
good
yeah.
friends.
Was there, a bit of a spark?
I have always loved Lachlan.
Oh,
Since the very day I met you.
how sweet.
It's taken Lachlan a long time.
Oh, I liked you too. It was just
It's okay. It's okay.
I think because we were such good friends before, and we'd done the Dorothy show, and we'd really done the hard yards. Like, we travelled all around Australia. You bump in the show and you take it down and you do all the costumes and all the laundry. Like, you do everything.
Right.
You become so close, and you work so closely together that we were already had such a good relationship before we kind of dwindled into becoming engaged.
So what was it, Lachy? What won you over?
I think everything Emma does, she has just does well in, because she works so hard at everything, like her film and television stuff prior to Wiggles and the dancing and everything. So I think I'd admired how much she could fit in and how well she could do everything, as just in every way, just how well we got on right from the start.
Because you are a phenomenal dancer.
Thank you.
And like Lachy said, you do everything. And 1 minute you're
Try.
like doing the jig, and then the next minute you're doing the splits.
I guess like the dancing for me is just I love dancing.
You can see
I
that.
love
You can
that.
see it when you're doing it. It's like it just comes out of you.
Everyone's kind of different, I guess, as entertainers. They're more comfortable in doing something that's more their way. I don't think I could ever just sing for somebody. My voice was never really used that as an instrument or anything. And so I think when we, started this wiggling training situation, I think even though we were already friends, Lachy really helped me. Because when we first got into the recording studio, I never even heard myself on a microphone.
Oh, wow.
And so that in itself was actually quite daunting.
Yeah. Was the bow your idea? Yeah. Genius. You're a little genius.
I really like wearing things in my hair.
Really?
I
would never have guessed.
And I always used to wear bows. So then when Anthony asked me about what we were going to wear, obviously for the boys that was just going to continue on, but they're a bit more flashy now with like satin V's and things.
Yeah.
He said, well, clearly you're not going to wear pants, because I don't wear pants. I still don't own a pair of jeans.
What?
Every year I think on my birthday I'm going to buy a pair, but I don't feel like it's me.
Wow.
So I I said to Anthony, I really want to wear a dress and I want to wear a bow in my hair. He said, that's fine.
And the bows on the shoes
Yeah.
are so sweet.
My mum still sews them.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I think just being always at dance competitions, and she was never a dancer herself. She had no idea.
Right.
And my hair's really curly. We would go to Irish dancing competitions and everyone would have their hair in curlers and my mum wouldn't know what to do. I just had a shower and my hair was ready. So she always wanted to help, and both of our mums are incredibly supportive.
They must be so proud of you guys.
Yeah, they are.
Do they come to the shows?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Still. They love it.
My dad even wears a yellow hat with a bow on it.
That is cute.
Yeah.
Hamish and Zoe's son,
Yes.
Hamish from Hamish and Andy's son, Sonny.
Yes, Sonny.
Wears your yellow bow and rocks that.
Even better than me on most days. He just looks, he's so comfortable with the bow. And a lot of children, which what we've learned from Anthony, when they're very young, between a girl and a boy that's not really a distinction.
Right.
And so a lot of children, regardless of if they are a girl or boy, will wear a bow headband. We see so many boys. Bow ties, bows on the shoes,
Yep.
Something in the hair. It doesn't matter if they're a girl or a boy, it really doesn't. They'll get to a stage where they might not wear it again. Usually it's the parents that don't want them to
Yeah.
wear the bow, but
Right.
so many boys come to the shows with the bows.
So great.
Yeah.
How cute.
So cute.
You guys are like legit rock stars. You guys have just come from doing 2 shows this morning. You've got 3 shows tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You got married and the next day you had shows. So you haven't even been on your honeymoon yet. You've been on tour for a month. It's not looking like it's ending anytime soon until August. That is a rock star life. Touring on the road, a different city every night. What is it like for you guys just to go to the supermarket and get some milk?
It is actually so nice we had one day at home yesterday before the shows today, and it is nice. We've got a new supermarket up the road and we haven't been there yet, and all we want to do is just go and try it and actually put some food in the fridge. But I think at this time there's nothing better than getting out on the road and doing the shows for the children.
But when we are on tour and we're in these country towns and we do go to the supermarket, generally the whole town knows that we're coming.
Yeah.
So as soon as we do go to get groceries, and usually we're kind of all shopping together,
Yeah.
we're kind of in the aisles and you can hear people talking in the next aisle. I think I saw Anthony.
Every time I've ever seen you guys, you're so gracious and you're so kind and go over and above to make everyone feel comfortable, and you have time for everybody, and you must be exhausted.
I think that the travelling is exhausting, but I think when it's children, it's like, especially when a child does really get excited to meet you or want to see you, they're just so, we really are so lucky to have that audience where they're always positive. It's that beautiful, pure happiness in the audience that is just so unlike any other audience.
Tell me, what is your favourite Wiggles song?
I think for me it does change a lot, but I really like Shake Your Hips with Wags the Dog.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing it in the show at the moment and I just love that song. And I do like Die Dicky Doo Dum, which is a Scottish tune that we did Irish dancing to, and that's how I started Irish, when I saw it on the Wiggles.
Mine changes a lot, but I'm just going to... One of the ones I wrote with... it turned out... It started off what Anthony calls a lemon, because I write all these melodies that I just put some words to, and this one started off as an idea for an Emma song. And then Anthony's like, oh no, it doesn't work as an Emma song, let's change it slightly. And then we started writing like a Wiggletown theme song, which wasn't working either. And we happened to be working with Ben Elton at the time. So Anthony said, look, give it to Ben and give him a go. And he came back with the most brilliant lyrics. It's so cool to sing. There's something about awesome lyrics totally changes the way you even sing a song.
Yeah.
It's called The Wonder of Wiggletown. There's something really special about the whole process, because it kind of drove us crazy for months, but it was so fun and it came out really well.
What's a Wiggles song you maybe would be okay to never sing again?
We did a hospital visit once. I was still getting my head around the lyrics, and it was
It's
wibbly.
it's more a song that we were taught by Anthony when you're in a classroom and you go around to include everybody and everyone's names.
Right.
So, like you would say, wibbly wobbly woo, an elephant sat on you. Wibbly wobbly me, an elephant sat on me. Wibbly wobbly Lachlan.
Okay.
An elephant sat on Lachlan. But
It kind of gets you. It was a real.
you have to think about
it.
and so, you know, Simon and I were going out trying to yell out names
Mm-hmm.
to Lockie so he could sing them into the verse without stopping the song. So we were at a hospital and we were trying to get everyone's names, you know, had to make sure that we got everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
The
started
girl's name was Sheridan.
Sheridan, but instead of singing,
An elephant
An elephant
sat
sat.
on Weridan.
I sang an elephant, SHAT, on Sheridan. And the parents laughed immediately. I was so embarrassed. I went bright red.
Unfortunately, Sheridan did not get the joke because she was too young.
No, it was a bad.
So every time
hilarious.
we hear that
It was
song,
a very.
You
you've
just-
got to think about it before you
Yeah.
sing that one.
I haven't sung
That's
that one
a
since.
hungry
No, we don't go there.
The one I find a little bit hard and I have to concentrate is the Aples and Beninis.
Oh yes.
That's a lot for
It
me.
is.
Yeah.
I like to eat apples
Apples and bananas. Yes. But it does get you confused if you're not
yeah.
up to the right
yeah,
vowel.
Yeah. What makes a good children's song? Because it seems, I mean, to the naked ear, and you know, to something that's in the background for me, it gets so into your head that you literally go to sleep singing things over and over and over. I know it would be much more complex than what it seems.
I think the biggest musical lesson for me, hands down, is working with people like Johnny Field, Anthony's brother, who wrote all the hits, basically up to a point. He still helps out now. He's just incredible. They're all just based around, you know, good chords with a nice, easy, sort of kind of catchy melody. I think about that often. I think, how do you try to write another song like Rockabye Bear,
Yes.
which is so
Crowd favourite.
so
Yeah.
simple, so brilliantly simple, but so effective. I think every child sings along with it, even if it's the really young ones that just know to go
They do
la,
the
la, la, la,
actions, yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, is it hard to come up with a concept?
I was just reading something that Anthony said ages ago, and he basically said that the children find everything exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a first time thing all the time. In that way, no, it's just kind of keeping on that point and not getting too tricky and going in
Yeah.
other directions.
What would you find is the best part about being a wiggle?
Seeing the children's faces when each wiggle runs out through the wiggle house door to see them for the first time, and
Yeah.
each child's reaction is so different. Some
Yeah.
just scream, some just like, what is that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
And that we've been able to not only keep it going but take it in a really great direction. I think that's it.
I think it's definitely the live shows. That's where you get that immediate feedback. We have an amazing opportunity to do things that we've never done before. And we're now all learning Scottish dancing.
I'm half Scottish, so I appreciate that. My mum's Scottish, yeah.
Oh, there
And my
you
dad's
go.
Irish. And my mum's dream was for me to be an Irish dancer. And I was too shy. I was a very shy little girl, and I was too shy.
Maybe we can teach you St. Patrick's Day, and then on his next birthday you can do a simple
Okay.
jig.
It's a date.
Yeah.
My mum will love that. And my last question, take yourselves back to your 14-year-old selves, and what was your like biggest like dream of life?
Or it's gone a little bit skewed, but I wanted to be something on the stage.
Yep.
I think I remember seeing Fame, the musical. That was my first.
Yes.
And that I Want to Make Magic song.
Yep.
I was like, this is...
That's it.
Pretty sure I cried back then.
I
You
think-
wanted to be a ballerina.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a ballerina,
Yeah.
and I never really thought about anything else. I loved teaching dance as well, so I never really thought that it would be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I didn't see myself doing this at all. I've figured it out that it's the perfect job for me because we get to do everything that we love.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And will we see little babies in the future for you guys? Your own little children?
Yeah.
Lockie is clearly excited.
Uh-huh.
My two younger brothers
Yeah.
once had a baby, recently.
And we've only just found out about 2 days ago that
Okay.
the other one's now going to have a little baby as well.
You can just
So-
play with them for now.
Yes.
They're going to be tour bus babies for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to be front row
Yeah.
at the Wiggles every day of
Yes,
their lives.
yes.
Well, I look forward to that. And thank you on behalf of all the parents of Australia and the globe for entertaining our kids and doing such a great job of it.
Thank you, Jules.
Love
Thank you for having us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
the
Thanks
tea.
for
tea.
coming. Really.
Tea.
Oh, cheers.
And you've got a yellow cup.
No, it's a baby one. It's a wiggly cup.
It's very wiggly.